Hello, friends, contractors. How are you doing? Let's talk about people in our business for just a moment. Some of you guys may be the only employee your company has. You may be self-employed, right? And you may have, I don't know, 50 or 100 plus employees, or maybe just a few, a handful, a couple dozen. We need to realize that unless you are the only one at your company, you depend on people. People run our companies. People represent us to our vendors. They represent us to the public. They represent us to our customers. They represent us uh, to our prospects. And so people run our companies. Well, when you get a bunch of when you get a bunch of people together, not everybody agrees, and you're bound to have, I would just say, people problems. Okay, and people problems are not fun, and they're not completely avoidable. Okay, but you need to learn how to deal with them. In my career, I've dealt with so many people problems. And again, I'm not blaming this on the people or on them or you people. I'm not blaming them. It's just a fact. You deal with people problems, differences in personalities, differences in interests. People rub each other wrong. But what can happen if you're not careful is you can end up with a boiling pot of a toxic culture that's a poison, okay? And that is not fun. There was a day back in the day when I realized, man, I've got my eyes just in one day were just opened. I've got a toxic culture here. And here's just some signs of toxic culture. Communication silos, where people won't, or departments or people won't share important information with other people. Maybe they want to get the credit, or they don't care enough to help the teammate along. Gossip, backbiting, low accountability, where no one's actually held accountable for not just the results of getting the job done, but the behaviors. The way they act. Toxic work cultures have low trust, where nobody trusts each other, and employees, teammates, they don't feel safe to speak up. So you know what they do? They just remain silent. And we may think when people complain that we get mad at them for complaining. Guess what? We should never get mad at people for complaining. We need to make a safe place for people to voice their opinions, because guess what? The people in our company know things about our company that we don't know. And if we don't give them a floor and a voice to let their opinions be heard, even if their opinions are wrong, they need to be heard. That's a whole nother story. But other signs of toxic culture are favoritism, unclear expectations, shifting expectations. Again, kind of the silence thing. But employees will disengage, which means they're gonna just show up to work, and they're going to just do the minimum to get by, to not get fired. Do you recognize any of those things in your company? Or maybe this, here's a favorite, a toxic top performer that holds you hostage, that someone that needs to go, but you're afraid to let them go because they're adding to the bottom line, or there's no one else to do their job. Those are really frustrating situations to be in. And tolerating a toxic top performer like that is detrimental to the entire team, because nobody wants a bad teammate. I don't care how good of a top performer you are. Nobody wants to work with a jerk, right? So, I tell you what I had a toxic culture in my company years ago, and within a few short, I'm going to say it, years. Okay, I had a lot of people. I say a lot of people. That's relative. It took time and effort to turn that around. But the end result is we went from toxic to fantastic in our company culture. And matter of fact, our team was recognized as one of the best places to work here in our part of the world, North Texas. And that was just a testament to teamwork and and it took a whole team of people to build and shape a new culture. But some things that contribute that to toxic cultures. There's this is kind of just a continuation of the previous list, but a cover your butt mentality. Wow, I need to hide this. I need to, maybe blame it on someone else so I don't get in trouble, so I don't get fired, so I don't get called out, so I don't get embarrassed. So kind of pointing out the mistakes of others instead, so that your own mistakes are hidden, right? And that's just a basic redirect. Micromanagement. Nobody likes to be micromanaged, and really nobody likes to micromanage. I don't like to micromanage. And if you find yourself micromanaging, it's probably because you don't trust that employee, or the skills, they don't have the skills to do the job, or you haven't created clarity or shown them how to actually do the job. Some other things that leaders do to promote a toxic culture: they ignore red flags, they avoid conflict and just hope it's going to get better. Hope it's going to just, I don't know, blow over and it's going to be fine in a couple days or weeks. Or they're just too buried in their own agenda. And some leaders, they're not transparent with their people, and when you're hiding things from your people, they don't like that. And also, if you've got managers in your company and they're not held accountable, or you as a leader, you're not an accountable person, all of these things just grow into a toxic culture. It's just terrible, and it is a cancer that will kill your company. A toxic culture. So we talk about leads and sales and selling systems and, marketing and how to do these, SOPs. All those things are important, but every bit of that is run by people. And I find that so many businesses ignore that people component until it's a huge problem, until they have a toxic culture. Talk to guys all the time. They've got a toxic top performer, or they've got people who are just disengaged or don't care, just all kinds of problems. And managing and nurturing your culture is something you need to do, just like marketing, just like sales, just like customer satisfaction and nurturing those relationships. It's as important as finance or anything else in your company. So, where do you start fixing toxic culture? Well, one, you can start with just creating clarity. Let me back up. That's number two. Number one, take responsibility that it all starts with you as the leader. It all rises and falls based on your leadership. So take responsibility, create a clear mission and vision for your company. Then start talking have conversations about culture with your teammates, and encourage employees to be ambassadors for your company. It's great to have ambassadors for your company. How about reward employees that champion your core values and they uphold your company culture and they're great teammates, all of those things. And you personally be an advocate for your culture. Be the best example of your culture on your team. And as you do this, you'll slowly start attracting others. You'll be attracting others that are like-minded, that share your vision. Okay, people that are accountable, people that want to work for a leader of integrity, for a company that's going someplace, and someone that knows that, hey, I know my boss, I know my company, my manager, my leader, whatever. I know they're not going to tolerate some toxic person on the team. They're going to make sure we have good teammates on our team. There are things like that as those begin to build, and just like a toxic culture can grow like a snowball, so can a positive culture. You can keep it going. It's literally an invisible force, either building your company or eroding your company. So friends, I just want to encourage you, take time to give attention to building a positive, thriving culture that's going to be building your business. And hey, if you've got any questions, about culture, reach out to me. Be happy to share with you, what I know or any tips I may be able to give you. So look forward to connecting with you. Have a great evening. God bless.